Hello, everyone,
Hello, welcome back.
to our next episode where we continue from last time. Um, and the topic this time is the City of the Sun.
Hmm. That the original native name is Swamox in the Muiskubum language, so I guess we can use that name, Swamox.
Suomox.
But for the people that already is in Colombia or is familiar with Colombia, we are talking about Sogamoso, a very well-known city of Boyacá.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, but before like going to Sogamoso, Swamox, last time we were finished our trip in Otanche, and with that beautiful experience that was exactly the day before to the solstice time according to the lunar calendar. So we wanted to retake, like to continue the story again.
Yeah.
And next morning, after we woke up very early, actually, we didn't have any idea how to celebrate or where to celebrate.
The
We didn't
solstice.
schedule a place.
Yeah.
So what we did just was find the highest and natural place around to try to do it, and we ended up going and maybe crossing a fence without any permission and reach a very beautiful spot. Do you remember this place?
Yeah.
It was on the top of the hill. We could watch the whole town, and there is it was Jesus or Maria statue.
Yeah. It's this big statue that
Mm.
overlooked the whole town of
Mm.
Jesus, Maria. And yeah, this was the morning after we had been to the mines and
Mm.
had that amazing experience. And yeah,
Yeah,
and
that.
then it was the morning, and yeah,
Yeah, maybe in next time or in a different podcast we can explain a little bit like the ceremony that we do in the mornings. Oh, because we were doing that a lot of later, so we can explain it later. But we were just making a little fire, making something that is called Agnihotra fire. Maybe some people is familiar with that. So we make this fire in the sunrise, receive the sun, even do some breathing exercise and just feeling there, just
yeah,
staying there and celebrating in our way the solstice. And actually, we were celebrating more than the solstice because the previous day was very important and we really accomplished, we finished that mission that you had. So in that celebration, we could really like sit down very calm and receive all these reflections. And that is where I want to ask you because uh, the previous day you were bringing these stone, these quartz to the mines in your mission. But actually, what happened is that Frida ended up receiving more quartz, big quartz, and more crystals, powerful elements, and also was connected with what you were doing at that moment, right? So maybe it's the moment to know what exactly do you do visiting those places, or what was all what you were visualizing after you finish your work on the mines, and what you felt, what you did, what you perceived. What was that? Because we were reflecting the next day after we were celebrating and receiving the first rise of the sun.
mm, yeah. It wow, where to start? Yeah, I had returned like in the last episode. I had returned that little stone to the mountain, and
Mm.
now it's there inside of back inside of the mountain. And we had received in turn so many gifts, so much quartz. Here's some of it, like really big pieces that the people working there were also gifting to us, and the mountain was gifting to us. Um, we received another piece like this,
Mm.
which I already used in another ceremony ritual, which is now lying on top of a different mountain. And then lots of small ones like this, which are really amazing. I think we can put up some pictures, right?
Yeah, we're gonna share some pictures in more detail because those quartz are really special. They have these perfect shapes and tips, and all the size are is a perfect creation. So
Especially with the tips still intact, the points. That's quite, yeah, those are being sold.
yeah,
Taken for selling for good prices. Yeah, so this is really special.
actually, the miners were impressive that. I mean, they didn't know exactly how valuable are they or how powerful they are. So they were just giving us.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe in the future they will consider, like, if they have a piece of this, maybe they are not going to give it that easy. But maybe because they understood what we were doing there, that is why
They felt it.
Yes, exactly.
I was so amazed, and that takes us into what you were asking, I think. I was so amazed because before we entered the mine, I was holding my crystal, and I still had it, and holding it to this big stone, watching the colors exchange, like the patterns shifting, like moving, because I see patterns, like I see lines and colors around things, and they were exchanging my stone and this big quartz that they had taken out of the mountain that was lying by the entrance. They were exchanging colors, and the colors from my stone were going into this big stone. And I thought I was just following what I was watching. I didn't know that my intention was that to pass on the information I had collected in my crystal to the quartz in the mountain that was going to be sold. So I had this awareness have been having this thought that will is in some way will help me. If all of this information, like the stone that I carried, was for me symbolic for all this information I have been collecting through my travels and through my journey over the past years. And now is the time to pass it on to people, to share, and to not hold it all inside of me anymore. And that will help my health also, which has been struggling. So for me, I had this idea in my mind that the stone can help me, because we know with the research we have now about quartz, we know how it works. It's frequency technology, and it can actually absorb frequencies and pass them on, and pass on information, basically. So I had that idea that if I pass it on to the quartz in the mine, and that quartz is then going to be sold to all of these different places, it will be like sharing my information. And when I saw that stone and by the entrance, and that's what I was watching started happening, like the information or the lines from my stone going into the big stone. And only afterwards, when we went down the mountain, did I find out that they were going to sell that stone. I didn't know that. So that stone is going to be taken apart into different pieces and sold.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I needed, what I was envisioning should happen. Or
Yeah, but also in order to make it a little bit easier to understand, when you speak about all this information that you're exchanging, passing on to the crystal, what kind of information or what kind of work you are transmitting exactly?
For example, when I was still living in Malaysia, I was carrying this stone with me. So I would go to the beach almost every day and walk. There was this line of trees that I would always walk past. And it was by this river that was going into the ocean. And this river was very dirty. And all the grey water from the houses and the dirty water was going into this river and going into the ocean. And there was this line of trees. And I'm very connected to nature, and I know how returning to nature is part of what we need to heal the earth we need to heal our communities, like reconnecting with nature, with the natural rhythm of things, is fundamental to healing the earth, healing our families, changing the cities that are so unhealthy for us, etc. So I was always walking there with this knowing, with this stone, and always thinking about ways, how can that happen? How do we change how people reconnect with nature? How do we change people's consciousness, understanding of reality, to make them more aware, to reconnect with nature, to not use all of this poison and put it in the water, to understand that we need healthy water in our settlements to be healthy, which we need to have healthy families, etc. So I'm always working with that, trying to understand and to help.
Yeah.
So walking there by those trees almost every day, I was just with this stone, and the stone listening to my thoughts and feelings, and me looking at this river and the trees, and how the trees are actually filtering the water from that river. And I was looking at how can this heal? How can this become better, and this water be clean again for the people here, and help them, and the people help the water, etc. And so I was figuring out solutions for that, and trying to understand, and while I was carrying the stone. And this I was doing in many places, always, like connecting, also in the same time connecting with the trees there, always touching them, feeling their life force, and passing that feeling, like the stone was with me, like when I was doing that, and recording everything basically.
Yeah. So it means that because you just mentioned this experience in Malaysia. So when you were here in those mines, in somehow you were connecting these work that you made before, and how it is also connect from here and make these nodes across the world. So you were working also that connection after you have finished there on the mines?
Yes. Basically remembering, and also watching that the colors from my stone go into the big stone. I was recognizing it from those thoughts that I had, the colors from the thoughts that I had before, that understanding, the connecting with nature, going into the stone, which is here in Colombia, like those thoughts, those very same. And then while I was watching that, I was of course remembering the work that I had done, and the patterns I had been observing of, and maybe also ideas I'd had that can help grow the consciousness, awareness in people, make them aware, bring this feeling for nature and our roots back. And I was thinking about the time in Malaysia, like and many other places I've been to, and connecting those feelings I had while walking by those trees with that moment where I was by the mines here with the stone, like remembering everything, just watching like a movie, all the images of all the places. And when you do that, I mean, our thoughts really shape reality. That's it. So when you watch it while you do something physically like that, your short thoughts really make it very real. Like, and that's what we started observing afterwards with the.
And also that will be connected with our companion that was Alexander, right? Because Alex had a beautiful project. He has this initiative to create a place with multiple functions, and you in that work you could somehow visualize how it will develop in the future, and also you were talking about some elements that can be added. So a very good example of that kind of work is uh, working on Alex project, right? Because Alex has this place like from his family farm, who is building a place for recreation, but also for healing. So he has this idea to create a place where people can go relax, but also feel this connection through some places. He was thinking about putting some quartz to create special rooms or places where people can really go and harmonize his energy. So, what did you visualize and saw? How did you work with that project, for instance?
Yeah, this is probably the direct application of my work. Yeah, very practical. So that is what happened. So Alex, like he said, has this land in that place where the mines are, and this idea for this big project for a recreation center. And before we went to the mines, I think you already mentioned it, or during in the course of the day.
Yeah, because Alex also wanted to do something, and he wants to bring people to also to that area, even to the mines, as part of the his ideas to bring like people to the nature. So it was really exciting with the idea in the future he could create something, groups that can do hiking and feel the energy on the mountains, going to the mines in somehow, and then take them to the place that he's creating. So he was like making a big idea of that, and maybe that ideas were came or feeding even better because maybe you were also affecting that and giving kind of, I don't know, creativity or something. But also you saw some of those connections, right?
Yeah. While in the course of the day, I was watching his ideas shift, or the energy of his idea for his project shift and change, and it was like this something was lighting up inside him, and inspiration, even more inspiration coming to him. That's what I was observing. Like his whole energy, his whole demeanor changed, was different by the end of the day, or the next day. Also regarding this project, that's what I was amazed by. But so we went the day after, we went to his place, his piece of land where he wants to do this project.
Yes.
And for me, it tied everything so beautifully together, because now he has been with us to the mines. He has with us experienced through what we were doing, what I was doing, the importance of minerals, of the quartz, of information, of consciousness, of awareness. And it is sort of now added to his ideas, for his project. It is informing now the way he will actualize his project. So I was watching that, and then when we were at his place, he was talking about doing that which I was talking about when we were on the mountain, of creating this room from the quartz where people can go in and for healing frequencies. And I was just giving some extra, through words or not through words, giving some, even like some impulses for his project to be really coherent, to really connect to what I was explaining earlier, to really contribute to this bigger shift in consciousness and awareness for the people, so that they not just experience the nature at his place, but then take it home and start living according to that feeling that they had at his place, of healing, of slowness, of doing everything with much more feeling and joy, and more connected to nature, and taking more care of the nature, also in our homes. So I was watching that take shape, that timeline, as I say, open up, where I now know, like, he's going to do that project, and that project is not just going to be a nice place anymore, but now is going to be a powerful place. It's going to activate people into this awareness and help heal. So that for me is the practical application of, like, me bringing that information to that mind, but then Alex being there, and immediately my work informing his project. And now I know it's going to be healing for that whole area. Like, it's going to bring healing and transformation.
Yeah, so we hope that maybe in a couple of years, or maybe soon, we can go back, visit them, and see those changes, the progress, and yeah, we will have, maybe we'll give these proof after that. And also because he has these mountains around, full of these powerful minerals, like in the mountain, is going to work all of them. I mean, the mountain will be activated. So it was
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
big mountain crystal working around that. So is even more powerful that taking like a little piece, but working in the area where the mountain is full of crystal is like the mountain itself activated. So it's something very important, and we hope that a couple of I don't know years maybe we could visit them again and see how it changed.
So everyone has to stick around for that. We're in this for the long run. This is the how you create the future in the slow and steady way, or shape it. You help shape it. And that's what we're going for, not the quick fixes.
We're gonna see it. Well, yeah, it was, and actually, that was the last visit in Notanche. We were in Alex's place, and after that, we get this lovely, uh, like goodbye time. Also, we have a pretty photos about that. I mean, we're gonna share it. But after that, we have to run a little bit and start a running time because we have like couple of I don't know minutes to take the bus and then to go. So before leaving Otanche, something else that anything else you wanna say after all of that this work, and how did you close that work because the time was out and we were ready to move to the next place.
I've got goosebumps as I remember it. Um, when I just want to see when we came out of the mountain and we arrived at this spot, this open area on top of the mountain. We came out of the mines.
Yes.
And it was sunset time almost. And the sun was shining directly onto us here on the mountain. We just came out and then we were holding all of these big stones. And it was the solstice day. Or the day before, yeah, the evening of the solstice.
All these 3 days will be. Yeah.
And we were standing there with the stones and this sense of fulfillment and completion of something very important. And we were standing there and the sun was shining on us and it started communicating with me. It was just this powerful knowing that the sun was greeting us. And it was saying, thank you. And it was recognizing us. And together with the mountains, like it was formed this triangle. And it was like telling me, the mountain and the sun, like, thank you for returning to us. Thank you for remembering us. Thank you for remembering the power of the nature, of that we need to be connected to it, of the power of the sun and the minerals and the crystals and how it can help us and all of those things. And it was just like pouring all of this. The sun was pouring all of this beautiful feeling and information into my head, and I was like, oh. And then I knew, yeah, this is the solstice moment for us. It was like, whoa, it felt so powerful. And like a turning point, just like the solstice is a turning point. I knew we have just finished something and now something is turning. Like, now, yeah, beautiful things can happen. So that was really, yeah.
Beautiful. So that day we were with the sunset, and the next day to the sunrise. And talking about sun, where was the next destination? The city of the sun.
City of the sun, yeah. Suomox.
Yeah, it was also a quite long journey after we ran and took just in time the bus. Running with the Alex sister.
They were giving us that plants.
Giving plants, food, fruits.
Yeah.
Like calling the driver to stop, like to wait for us. Yeah, it was very nice. And
amazing, all these people just falling in step with us and just helping. Like from this feeling, without understanding necessarily what we're doing.
yes.
Feeling this and just working together and yeah.
Yes, it was maybe another 6 hours on the bus. I felt like faster, but it was like basically the whole afternoon. We arrived almost 7, 8 p.m. to Suomox, and we had the option or to sleep outside or to find an open hotel. So we find a place near So it was like also an exhausting travel on the bus. But we were ready for the next day, going to a specific place because Swamox means the house or the place of the sun. In Swamox, in the ancient times, there was a very important spot there. It was a temple, the temple of the sun. So in the Muisca, in this native world, there were several important points, like astrologically speaking. So one was for the moon, one was for the sun, and the moon is not very far from Bogota. It's called Chia. So there was like the moon place, the temple place, and where there is also ceremonial and a kind nowadays university, like where people were learning about cosmology and nature. It was
Astronomy,
yes, all these they were learning there in Chia.
like observatories.
Observatories, big observatories, and a very big observatory was the Sun Observatory in Swamox. So there was this big temple. So that was our next place because it has a very interesting story. The place was originally destroyed by the Spaniards. There are many versions of how it was destroyed by accident, on purpose. Uh, Even there are different theories. The thing is that it was burned with like a very big fire because also
Burned
you're
to
gonna
the
see.
ground.
Yeah, you're gonna see the pictures is like very big, a huge construction.
Which was a sacred, very sacred site. It was, yeah, not just an observatory. It helped the people stay connected in rhythm with nature, with the seasons, with they were always celebrating the
Equinoxes,
equinoxes, solstices there.
and many other important days. So is a very technological place. I mean, it's very sophisticated nowadays. They say
We've forgotten that knowledge.
yeah,
People had that, right?
because it's supposed that that temple is if we compare, it should be similar with the Chichen Itza pyramid. That it has to be like I don't know, like a satellite view in order to organize the constellations and to be very exact, very accurate. It was a kind of very advanced technology at that time to move the pillars, these huge poles that outside. It is so difficult to imagine how at that time. I mean, they didn't have any
Without
tracks
no
or
technology.
any I don't know gears, big things. How did they move such as heavy and huge?
Trunks.
Yeah, that and very far from Boyacá.
These huge tree trunks. Yeah.
Huge.
They because they picked those trees from a special place because those trees have a certain pattern inside
Yeah.
that is similar to the pattern inside of quartz
Yeah,
crystals.
this is very interesting because those big trees is kind of vegetal quartz, like in these has
Quartz.
plant quartz, which is not just the strong material, but it has these power like minerals, connecting, concentrated energy, distributing energy. So they were creating actually a shale, an energetic shield in the temple. So it was not random, all of that. So they have to travel very far and carry that. So we start to think what kind of technology did they have to build that at that time and with all that knowledge. Because from outside, it actually is quite simple, just the wooden and very basic material. But when we start to see the dimensions, the accuracy, the all of that architectonic, yes, this is more advanced than we think. Like to make it in a very simple way. I mean, like now we have a lot of things to create sophisticated things, but to get even higher level with basic material, it needs advanced knowledge.
Yeah.
So we were like really impressed with all of that, and
I'm going to interject something here. This is part of the the knowledge that I want to help us remember, and is very much connected to the power of our thought and the mind. it sounds abstract, but it's very simple. How it works is very real, very practical, and that is part of why we do these talks, to make it completely practical and to move away from all the theory and to show us how this advanced knowledge, the power of the mind, actually shows up in everyday life for everyone already.
Yeah.
So we can harness it more.
Yes, maybe saying advanced is just like a comparative way, right? But yeah, it's something that apparently we lost. So it was very interesting. So the city itself is in this atmosphere because we are walking on the cities and we have these beautiful murals full of
It was
these
just colors, like the paintings.
paintings. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, you walk through the streets and just these beautiful paintings everywhere and incredible artists. It's an experience. You have to be there to experience it. Yeah.
So yeah, it is. You are traveling through the murals, to the paintings, all.
You travel through the mythology. Through if you feel like
yeah.
you go into the travel through the whole past. That's how it
Exactly.
feels, and the future.
So the city is full of this energy, and there are some special places. We were visiting in this hill that is a little chapel on the top of the mountain, but the way to get there was a beautiful stairs, colorful path to.
This very very long staircase that was with the stairs from the vertical view, no, the horizontal view were painted. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So it was a very magical experience because it feels that the city itself is still vibrating in this past. Right? We can see it through the images, through the people, the messages, is that they are really feel this identity of the past or trying to conserve the importance of the place. So we have a nice monument in the main square where there is some indigenous getting a salute, like greeting the sun. And yeah, we can feel this sun power all over the city. It's a beautiful place, especially when you are in the mountain. You can see the whole valley, and being there was very important. So this place now became an archaeological museum, and the person who worked on that was an astounded person. Very, very. I don't know. He is one of the most important Colombian archaeologists. He recovered all that.
The person who initiated the rebuild of. So they rebuilt that temple, that structure for the observatory, that how it existed in the past. So this guy was. Yeah. Seems like there are so many people like that in this country or in this continent who are inspired by something so beautiful that they go into like that it inspires them to start all of these incredible projects, like this guy who was recovering all of this ancient knowledge and rebuilding the temple. So now it's standing again.
Yeah, and he was the initiation for many things after him. Like he started even a bigger project that now more people are join and continuing.
Remembering our roots. This is what we need.
So now the place is a big center for meeting from different indigenous culture, for different projects, educational program, and they are making a very good job there. They were explaining this that everyone is welcome, even foreigners. They say something beautiful that they say our foreign ancestors can come here, so they don't like see people like divided or separated. They say everyone is like a piece of corn. They were explaining to us like the corn is a very important food in the ancient time in Latin America. So they say we have different colors corn. So we have like this violet corn, yellow corn, white corn. We have this red corn. So what happens when we put all the seeds together and we start to smash it and create a powder to make the food? All the powder will become white. So it says here come as a different piece of or grains of corns, but when we are together in the essence, we are the same.